Hello everyone, I finally get to do another stream and we are doing Gran Turismo 4 again. So we're just going to pick up where we left off. I haven't really done anything at all off stream. I was thinking of maybe farming some money off stream, but I will just stick to doing things on stream for this save file. Now, Discord is taking a while to send freaking notifications, so let's give that a moment while I get everything else set up. But last time we did 5.4%, we went through 2 cars. So we went through the FPV, which is really cool, but I think I actually have driven it before, and then the Subaru Legacy B4 RSK. Yeah, the Discord just seems dead for me. But anyways, so today I want to just go through a bunch of events in the beginner hall and maybe even the professional hall. And now I need... Okay, without Discord notifications it's going to be kinda empty in the chat, but it is what it is. Now, has Discord sorted itself out? No. I'll just let it be. Anyways, let's just get started. So what events can we do with the current car? I think we did the beginner events that this car can do. Maybe? No, convertibles only. But in the professional events we can do Clubman. So let's get that out of the way first. Speedster and 205 are the two I particularly care about, but they are not a big deal. Like, out of 3 laps we should be fine. Now, I will need to adjust myself to the handling of this game, because lately I've been playing a lot of Colin McRae 2005 on the PSP with my girlfriend, and I just have been doing way too many races of that, which has a way different handling model. Also, I predict the Riot first song of the stream. That's nice. But last stream actually got copyright strike like 3 times because of the background music. And it's not like I have the music that loud, you can barely hear it. Okay, I really need to focus. Like a Ford. Okay, this is going to be bad. I don't want to lose the first event of the stream. So let's do this seriously. As in, cut seriously. I want to avoid cutting. Do I have the wrong tires equipped or something? It feels different than last stream, like how it was handling last stream. Anyways, 2 more laps to catch up, plenty of time. But pretty sure that's the Speedster. Or is it the Martu up front? Might be the Martu. MR2 is a pretty good car, honestly. But I know I have driven the Speedster before and I know it can go zooming. Just a slight nudge. And off we go into the lead. Now I just need to drive safely and carefully. I'm not going for any cuts, just smooth driving. Nice and easy. Although I am fighting against the assists since I have them on. Leaving the assists on is kind of a handicap if you think about it, because it will legitimately just slow you down. And outside of traction control, the other assists are just screwing you over. It's the little blue triangle at the bottom that shows, like right now it's flashing because an assist is being used. I imagine traction control for that. And then the understeer and oversteer assists constantly, which is what keeps making my tires slide out, because it will suddenly lower your speed through a corner to what it thinks it should be at. But anyways, so I don't know why my stream got copyright strike on 30 different songs last time when you could barely hear it. I was talking over it and it was clearly fair use. And the game is like ancient, and previous streams have never been copyright striked. I don't know what happened with YouTube last time. But anyways, after the race I'm going to just check on Discord again. Just to make sure we let everyone on that actually joins the stream through the notification on there know that we are live, because Twitch pretty much never sends out the notifications properly, and neither does YouTube. As a matter of fact, YouTube will punish you for sending out notifications, so it's just the stupidest thing. Okay. I see that the notifications did get sent. Okay, one failed. I had to manually resend it. Alright. I don't know what is going on with Discord. It has issues so freaking often that you'd be surprised it's such a popular platform. With a note option, I need the tune. So we have sports. That's why. I thought we had racing tires. I guess the event set us back to sports or something, because it's sports only. A lot of events are like that. Sports or economy. But if you use economy tires in this game, I don't know what to tell you. Like, they are awful. The only singular use is with cars that have unbelievable amounts of grip, like the S2000, for endurance races, because the economy tires wear out so much slower than other tires that even though they have far worse grip, you will end up pitting like 2 to 3 times less often. And in an endurance race it doesn't matter, because some pit stops are like 40 seconds long. totally taking the intended path. Like if the developers didn't mean for us to take that route, they would have blocked it off. They would have put bollards or something. But we really are just going zooming. I can't remember if I have all the upgrades for this car. I think I maxed it out. I might have skipped one or two upgrades though. I know I didn't get the rigidity upgrade, so I do want to avoid banging the car around, but honestly, after the first in-game year passes, you get infinite money, so there's no point in worrying about that, because you can buy as many cars as you want. And I will be abusing that when we get to a year into the game, because who wants to money farm? You get sick and tired after doing the special conditions so many times. Now, for another car we can use, so I'm trying to use cars I have never used before. So I'm thinking maybe a price car that I have never used before. And what came to mind literally right before starting the stream was the Mazda Speed from the Tsukuba Wet Medium. Because I have legitimately never used that car. I always just sell it because it's a very good alternative to the Toyota RC Rally Raid car for money farming. Takes give or take the same time, but it just breaks up the monotony of just doing an annoying track, and you instead just do like 3 laps of Tsukuba. I'm pretty sure it's 3 laps. Might be 4. So I will try to get that. I can't remember what drivetrain it is though. If it's the same drivetrain as this, I might not bother. I think it's an FR, which would make it the same as this. I want to try going as fast as I can here. So I'm stepping on the nitros finally, to see if I can reach like 280, no, 275. And I said last time, but I'm really digging this this livery in the car, like the color with the tiny like touch of orange. This reminds me of like Need for Speed Underground 2 vibes. It's just missing the neon. Or not even that, it technically does have neon. If you think of, well, it's not actual neon, but like underbody underglow. But it still has like the white line of light on the frame. So in a way it does have neon. Anyways, I can't remember what price car we get from this. But let's see. Mazda 6 and PS. I also haven't used that one. For this one, we'll just need to change the tires. And we can also do this. But let me see what the Mazda... Okay. So this is... doesn't even show us the drivetrain, great. I hate... one thing I hate about the game, I absolutely enjoy and love this game, But what I hate is how many cars just have no stats displayed, because they were like new cars, so they're like concept in a way. It's showing you that it has no stats like the GTR. Wait, this is the wrong GTR. What is it? This. So it's showing you. This is the R35 essentially, but because it's new, it doesn't show the stats. Anyways, our car is an FR. I would like to at least know what drivetrain it is. So let's see, FR, RX-8. What about FF? And MR, the Dome Zero, I have used it before. 4-wheel drive, we've already done the event. Alright. So we go to the tuning. I want to make sure I have everything. Brake controller doesn't isn't necessary unless you plan to tune the brakes. For tires, we have the racing heads. We'd also get the qualifying when we have some extra money. Get the rigid upgrade. This does make the car a bit stiffer through the corners, like less body roll and stuff. But it reduces the overall damage to the car because cars have an invisible damage gauge. So the more you crash the car, the more damage it sustains. Alright, so this is a championship. 5 laps. Yeah, I think we can do this without needing to worry about tire wear. We'll see. First things first, we definitely need to change the tires to racing hard. And let's do this. Wait, is it? I don't think it is, but that looked like the R35 for a moment, like that silver one. It's not, I think it's an Audi. Just squeezing right in. We got lucky, we got the average opponents. There are some pretty bad, bad as in you don't want them to show up. Some pretty bad cars you can get as opponents, like the yellow bird, the rough roof, whatever you want to call it. We got the normal version instead. The yellow bird is a good car, but controls awfully. The AI though never will pretty much never have issues controlling it, because the AI kinda cheats a lot in this game, especially in some events like the Opel Speedster, where even though they have normal tires, like mediums, they have the grip of qualifying tires, because they are given a tire modifier on top of the car specs. Or in the Supercar Festival, which is for unmodified cars only, there's a Cadillac Cyan, which by default comes modified. So yeah. Anyways, I'm just going to chill here, try to drive carefully and safely, not mess anything up too much. If it looks like they're catching up, I can always just unleash the nitrous in the big straight. Didn't need to touch the sand. If it was grass I wouldn't mind, but sand does actually shred the tires in this game. It increases tire wear by a lot. Anyways, nitrous time. It legit sounds like a wind turbine. As if the car is about to take off. And just absolutely dig that. Say what you will about turbos and the likes, but natural aspirated engines are the ones I very much enjoy the most. I'm going to prioritize exit for some of the corners. Since the guy in second seems pretty competitive. It's just the rough roof. Again, I don't know how to call it. Some things make no sense in the way they're pronounced. Just look at Plymouth, both the brand and the place. Since Plymouth normally should be pronounced Plymouth, but it's America and they just love to pronounce things wrong. So it is Plymouth. Anyways, 10 grand. Next race. The only thing I don't like about this event is the amount of money you get. It's many laps against pretty decent opponents, but the important thing is that most championships will give you a final reward equal to the total amount you made throughout the races. So if you made, for example, 75,000 throughout all the races, you will get another 75,000 at the end. This one gives 10,000 per race, but at the end it only gives you 20,000. So it just ends up giving you less money for doing the full event than just doing an individual race twice. Which feels kind of unfair. I believe it's the only event that does this. Or there might be one more that does it. As in, doesn't give enough money comparable to the total you get from the races themselves. Anyways, we take the absolutely total intended line through that bit. Nothing illegal there. We're just driving as normal. Sure, there were some obstacles and a chicane, but who cares about that? We just followed a different configuration. Simple as that. Also, this one kinda reminds me of like the bird song from Family Guy, in the kind of vibe it has. The gap is decent, but I want to make it a little bit bigger if possible. Just to trash on them a little bit extra. Again, totally taking the intended path. This time we don't end up in the wall. Just smooth steering. Now here I could go zooming with the nitrous and see the absolute max top speed. But if I do that, I know I'm going to miss the braking zone. Like that. Because my braking marker is for when I'm going around 260. So when I go over that, I kinda mess up quite often on the braking. Anyways, we messed up, but still we didn't lose that much time. So maybe I can finish with a nice big gap of like 30 seconds. And I know I should be following the racing line, but honestly I couldn't care less. The racing line is just the dark spot on the track, which obviously goes through here. I don't know if that's because of my car, but there was like a line in the grass where I keep driving over. Anyways, nitrous time. Let's see. Can I hit max speed before the finish? I think the car will power down at 290. Okay, it was going a little bit higher, so like 295 maybe before it powers down. Okay, next race. This track. 2 laps. Yeah. I think if I win this, then I'm good points wise to like skip the last race. As long as I don't completely butcher the next one. Anyways, totally not driving them all wide to gain an advantage. But I just hate being stuck behind traffic. And fun fact, from what I remember, this track is not an actual real track, but it is very heavily based on the road near where the offices of Polyphony is. Like the offices are in Japan. I thought I could just go through. I think I don't have max downforce yet. I think I might have set it to 25 rather than 30 for the wing. So I could increase it a bit. It will kill a tiny bit of my top speed, but that's nothing serious. Anyways, let's go zooming with nitrous. Just do not miss the braking zone, otherwise I'll go head first in the wall. So I think it's here. I need to hold the brake a tiny bit longer. I lost time there. I did get the braking timing correct, I just released a little bit too early. Same there. Keep doing it. Oh well. think this is race 3 out of 5. So, as long as I don't butcher the next one, I should be fine skipping the last race, although I don't plan to skip the race. I want an overwhelming victory. Plus I might turn this into a 100% completion save file later on, like I usually do, just to have extra excuse to keep playing. I do have a save file that I'm extremely close to 100% completion on. It's like 90 something percent. I'm almost exclusively missing the things from the extreme hall, specifically the formula event that rewards the sober C9 and one other event in there, or two, something like that. Total it's about 30 races that I'm missing for 100% completion, and like the mission 34 and mission 11 in the mission hall. Mission 11 is just BS because the car just refused to turn. Oh, I forgot to check downforce, and this is like the most downforce impacted track. You absolutely need max downforce for this track. And I'm just going to step on the nitros a tiny bit just to get in first, because I don't want to get stuck behind anyone. Now this track has the worst tire wear and the worst airtime, as in you going flying if you don't have downforce. Now, it doesn't matter if the rough roof, etc., if the ceiling is near, as soon as we get on the big straight at the end of the lap, I can just completely leave him in the dust with the nitros. So you just need to be smooth everywhere else. So here is where the downforce really matters. Without the downforce you go flying like that. And here too, because you have to brake and go downhill, but if you don't have the downforce you'll go flying into the wall instead of making the corner. Okay, nitros time. Almost went off there. And about cars, I was going through some cars with my girlfriend that we could get in the future, or like, at least the style of car. And I showed her the E-Space, the Peugeot, I think it is. I would never get a French car because France, but that car is just an amazing example of how you can do a family car. It's like a dad/mom van that's also functioning as a full capable sedan replacement. as a family car. And it's not even that big, while having ginormous storage in the back. It's literally the kind of car I would love to get in the future. Like for family. You want to go on a family trip, you can just pack everything you need there. You are moving houses, you can pack everything you need in there. You have like 5 kids, there's plenty of seats for all of them. It's almost as good as the Subaru Sambar in that regard, like space-wise. Although it's safer than the Sambar, because the Sambar doesn't really have airbags. Whereas the space obviously does. It has like 7, I think, or 8. Anyways, we're on lap 3. Just need to not mess up and we'll be fine. The point you can mess up is here as you go uphill, and then here, which means like I went airborne, and when airborne obviously you cannot steer. This is not Trackmania. So that bit really screws you over, so you need a really high downforce on both the front and the back to keep your car planted. If you can do that, you gain like potentially up to 10 seconds there, depending on the car, relative to just not having a wing at all. Anyway, some nitrous for a high speed finish. Alright, one more race, then off to the next event. Next event I think is the race of NA Sports. Okay, final race. We are way ahead in the points. Oh, never mind, it is the yellow bird. Okay, I thought it was the non-yellow bird that we were fighting. Alright, so 5 laps of Tsukuba. This can be a decent warm-up for when we do Tsukuba wet. So let's go. Go inside. Yeah, that's not the GTR, that's the Fair Lady. Or whatever it's called, it's the 350, 370. Okay, so one rough is in front. Then we have a buffer car behind us and the other one, the yellow bird. These two are the next ones in the points. Even if I literally retire from the race, I'll still win the championship, but it's 10,000 money, so why the frick not? Nice, smooth driving. 3 more laps of this, then we'll have a prize car. I don't remember what prize car we get from this event though. I don't remember a lot of the prize cars. Some I do. Mostly because they're so iconic, like the Abarth or the Toyota RSC or the Cadillac Sienne or the Jay Leno tank car and so on. The Pagani Zonda from the Slipstream races. Speaking of which, I might legitimately try to get that for the World Championship, because I've never used that car either. Mostly because by the time I get it, I don't need it for anything. We can also get the 89 and 92 Nissans, like the LMPs, from the mission hall. But I have used those before for the World Championship during previous playthroughs. The Pagani Zonda is the only one I haven't used, mostly because of the 4th Slipstream race being a pain in the ass. Okay, messed up a bit there on the exit. Went really wide. Now we'll just go zooming for the final lap. Laps here take about a minute, so it's nice and relaxing. Like you can go on autopilot once you are in the lead. Now in the wet it's going to take a little bit longer if I don't use the qualifying tires. And for anyone that has trouble with the special condition events, those disable tire wear altogether, so you can actually use qualifying tires on all the on-road events without worrying about tire wear, while still getting the insane amount of grip they give you. So they can act kinda like wet tires for the Tsukuba Wet, as an example. So you can beat it for with pretty much any car, like even a trash car, at least the easier ones. For example, I've used the Abarth to beat the easy Tsukuba Wet, simply because of the qualifying tires. Alright, so here we made 50,000 from the races, but the final reward is only 20,000. When other events will give you 50,000. Nissan Option Stream Z. That's a nice car, but also a very funky looking one. Okay, these are all 3-lap races. Alright, so how's our oil looking? It's decent. I could change it like it is dirt cheap. But let's do some more events. So we can do Race of NA Sports and Supercar Festival with this car. I'll do the NA Sports for now, and we'll see about the Supercar Festival later. Let's start with trial mount. Oh. Okay, this is going to be annoying. It is going to be annoying. I didn't notice that we have to use the trash tires. So, insane wheel spin off the line. I need to avoid first and second gears like the plague. And then I need to also brake way earlier than I would normally brake. Now let's say hello to the monkey. So hello there, monkey up on the tree. But if you turn around, it actually isn't there. I don't know why they made the monkey be there only on one side. It's like they forgot. Anyway, some nitros to break the toe. Toe in later Gran Turismo is like around 0.7 seconds. But in this one, it's close to like 1.1 second. The toe is a lot further back. So it has more of an effect. And that's why it's important to create a nice big gap. I can't remember in which game, I think Gran Turismo 5 or 6, you can actually take a shortcut through the pit lane because it does not slow you down. But don't quote me on that. I think it doesn't. Been a while since I've played those. I have been thinking of doing a stream for Gran Turismo 5 and 6, but I do have my gripes with those games. 5, I don't like how they have split the career in like A spec and B spec, because that means that you basically have to do twice the events, but also it breaks progression because if you do the B spec first, then you end up with really overpowered cars extremely early on, but not in the same rewarding sense as Gran Turismo 4, where you can just plan a nice route out and get some really OP prize cars by going out of your way to do certain events. It's literally just doing the same normal events, like following the same progression, like Sunday Cup, FR Cup, FF, that stuff. Just literally following the same progression, you end up with supercars. And I just don't like it. It's the same reason I don't like a lot of recent racing games, because you just start in a supercar and there's nothing to build up to. You're already at the finish. I like building up my way. Like with this game, you start from like a used car or a prize car from the driver's licenses, and usually it's not that good. Like it's good enough for Sunday Cup, and then you need upgrades and take your time with things. Sure, you can break the progression in many ways, but that's just part of the charm of the game. No. Monkey on the tree. Monkey not on the tree. The monkey just disappears. So here, for example, you need to get a car good enough to do the event for the Toyota RSC, to then make money to buy a better car, or Tsukuba Wet, or like get a Subaru upgraded enough to do the Stars of Pleiades event, or get a Lanivo and do the Lanivo meeting, or whatever it's called, or get 350, 370 Z and just do that cup, break the progression, get really strong stuff. As in, you have to work for it. It's not just okay, your Bob driver did Sunday Cup and got you like a supercar. I just hate that. Anyways. So that's my issue with 5. With 6, I just don't like how it forces you to buy that. I think is the Golf. No, it's not a Golf. It's like a hatchback that it forces you to buy, and I hate that. Sure, yes, you are left with enough money to still buy a car you want, just a worse car. And I'm not a fan of that forced progression. Whereas this game is just completely open. Yes, some kind of direction is nice, but this has plenty, like tells you beginner hole, and professional hole, and then extreme hole, and endurance. Like, just from the name you can tell the progression you're supposed to take. It doesn't need to like handhold you or anything. There's the driver's license exactly for that reason. We have an opponent that can actually slightly keep up. This will be interesting for about 2 corners. But as long as I don't mess up, they will be just left in my dust. Okay, I need to set up the sub corner here, so I don't end up in the wall. Then the tunnel. And they are just in my dust. Then on the big straight, we'll just step it up a bit, go zooming. I want to see when this car will power down. Is it 295? No, it actually hit 300. That's actually cool. So it can hit 300 without powering down. And this is without any tuning. I could tune it, I could just pull up Tikanji's like tuning spreadsheet and everything, but I don't want to do that. I haven't even done the gear trick where you set the final gear to 1, then you adjust all the gears individually to make it so your gears become longer, so you can accelerate more, even if it becomes slightly slower to accelerate. So far though, I've said it many times, but I'm really digging this car. Even with trash tires, if I adjust my steering, I can still handle it pretty decently. And it's just a nosy car, a very unconventional origin for a car. Now, can we hit 300 again? Come on. I was hoping to hit 301, but we did hit 300. So we could name this car the Spartan. Just nice and smooth steering. Don't upset the car. Sweep the corners. I went too tight too quickly. Again, I need to set up this for the tunnel. Okay, Nitrous. Can I finish the Nitrous before the finish line? Ah. But I need to think of the next car to use, because I have used this car for quite a few events now, and I want to break up the pace a bit. I don't want to just use the same car to ship half the events in the game. I've done that with the Cadillac so many times, and with the Land Evo 3 and the Land Evo 4 and the sedan the Subaru, not sedan, the station wagon. Now, one thing I do have a small issue with in this game is the repetition of tracks. Like, there's so many tracks, but like 2 events in the same hall will have pretty much the exact same track. Like, we did this earlier. Again, 3 laps, again with sports tires in the Clubman Cup. And this, like, the cup, like, it's 2 cups after that. It's like the second cup after the Clubman, and we are still doing the exact same event. Like, exact same race, very similar opponents. There are so many tracks just in the game, but that go unused because they are for special conditions only. Like, there's 2 opera tracks, not opera, there's Opera Paris and George Paris, so 2 Paris tracks, but only one is actually seen in events, the other is exclusively for special conditions. Even though the other one would be much better, since they are both tight, narrow tracks with basically no overtaking opportunities, but at least splitting them half events of one, half of the other would keep things interesting instead of just having the same one plastered in 20 different events. And we're talking about events that make no sense, because why would the Japanese Cup be held in Paris? Like, it makes no sense. So they could just use some more of the special condition tracks. There's a lot, like Tsukuba Wet. I would love to have Tsukuba Wet as a normal track that you can just do. Like, against multiple AI instead of just one AI at a time. Because it is just a normal track that's also in normal conditions. But nope, they decided to just keep it locked in special conditions only. And it just pisses me off, because it is much more fun to do the wet race than the normal race. And then, so there's this Tsukuba endurance 4 hours. They could have made a Tsukuba wet endurance 2 hours. So they would have the normal version and then the wet version as a shorter configuration, shorter time span. But since you drive slower, you'd end up doing fewer laps as well. So for example, the normal Tsukuba endurance ends up being like 500 laps overall. So the wet race would end up being like 200 laps, plenty good. And again, there's others too. Yes, most are just tight tracks just to punish the player and give them penalties, but not all of them are. And I would very much enjoy to have an off-road cup as well, because there are off-road tracks, but again, special conditions. There's no snow or dirt in the main carrier whatsoever. Not even in the extreme haul. The extreme haul I would expect to have like... I took my hand off the steering for a moment because I was adjusting my stupid controller cable that got tangled on my keyboard. And I looked away as well for a moment. But yeah, there's so many good tracks that would make amazing events. Like, yes, there are not that many. Let me show. So special conditions. So these two, yes, they are too tight, but you can have like an off-road cup with Grand Canyon, then Swiss Alps, Tahiti, and then to Yosemite tracks. And you can have a short ice one with like Swiss Alps, Chamonix, and Whistler. Then you have Rally George Paris, which is much better than Opera Paris. And then you have Tsukuba Wet, which would make for some really cool racing as both normal races and endurance. I just think it's a wasted opportunity. Anyways, we'll do Motegi and I'll do Infineon last. Oh, come on. I didn't pay attention. It's the long, full configuration. My least favorite. Again, I said it last stream. This track is an actual real racetrack, yes. And the layout is actually very good for racing. My issue with it is that everywhere I look is just poop dark grass and sand traps everywhere. Like, that's all I see wherever I look. It just gets so freaking boring to look at that my eyes get tired looking at it. And it's... I think it's the only track that happens, like that is this boring. The others at least have something to break up the monotony. This track just tires me in how boring the scenery is. Anyways, I want to just squeeze right in here. Just totally was side by side on the corner, not pulling any Verstappen moves. Just all legal overtaking here. And we are in the lead. So after this we have Infineon, which I believe has shut down, like it doesn't exist anymore. It changed names like 20 times because the companies kept buying the track. Like Infineon went bankrupt as a company, so then someone else bought the track. It might still exist, I can't remember. I'm an idiot. Completely thought it was a different configuration. Well, this will give me a good enough handicap. How I mix up the configurations, I don't even know. Anyways, now we have a big gap to catch up on. I think 25, no, just 12 seconds. Okay, that's easy. Can get 2 here on the corner. Totally legal overtaking again. Nothing to see here. I cannot get there in time to totally legal overtake the next guy yet, but I will soon. We have like a lap and a half, plenty of time, as long as I don't do another stupid mistake like that. And not only did I do a stupid mistake by think it was the wrong configuration, I did the Lance Stroll thing, just turned into the sand trap. Rather than just reversing. Again, very legal overtake right here. And let's go. Lap 3. Oh, wait. No, it's the full configuration, so the starting line is in the other one. And here, I thought it was the other configuration out of habit. Like an idiot. I just hate how much it slows you down to go on the sand. Anyways, we can easily catch up. 2 seconds is nothing. Like, I closed the gap of like 12 plus seconds in like a third to half of a lap. Because the laps are so freaking long here that there's plenty of time to catch up if you fall behind. The one event I absolutely cannot stand on this map is the endurance race. The endurance race in this is just the most boring event in Gran Turismo history, in my opinion. Like, I would rather do the big loop for 200 laps than do this for 100 laps. I'm that bored. At least the big loop keeps it interesting with the corner banking and the different lines you can take through that. This is just the most boring scenery. And doesn't help how it looks grainy as well because of the PS2 graphics, so it just looks grainy and pixely and weird, as if there's a very slight static effect filter over the screen, which just tires out the eyes even more as you look at it. Anyways, I just need to not mess up here and go the wrong way again, and we are good. I was hoping to get to 6th gear. Oh well. Alright. So now we have Infineon as the final event for now. And then I kind of want to find a different car to use. Ooh, TVR is in front. I didn't see the other opponents, the TVR though caught my eye. So TVRs generally very strong cars when it comes to straight line. Also, my girlfriend might be waking up, so I might need to pause for a sec. But we'll see. And I do plan to do another stream with her, but we've been doing a lot of Frontier streams and I want to break up the pace. So I have been thinking of just doing some PSP games like Portable Third, like Monster Hunter, Portable Third instead of Frontier, or just jumping from game to game, do some Dissidia Duodecim, do some Colin McRae, do some Test Drive Unlimited, maybe some Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, and so on. We even play a lot of Pro Evolution Soccer. She has started getting better at it, actually. I just nudged the guy and he got murdered. But that's TVR for you. All the power, none of the handling. It's almost like the Buick in that regard. Anyways, 2 more laps. And yeah, we have been doing a lot of Pro. She actually, after over 100 matches, finally managed to score against me. So she is definitely improving and she has started being better at keeping the ball and playing defense since I'm pretty much always on the attack. We play Pro 14, like Pro Evolution Soccer 14, and some FIFA, but FIFA is awful with hyping, and that's the reason I haven't really done a stream with her in a while. The ping with her is awful. Like her internet is extremely bad sometimes. Like yesterday she did a speed test. Her download speed on Ookla was like 1.6 and upload was like 0.2. Like it took her about half a minute to even load the Ookla website. It's that bad. Totally taking the intended line. There's a barricade that I need to dodge. But I made it work. So yeah, and the ping is usually like 400, 500. Meanwhile, PSP games really won't ping under to 30. Do not stutter or just freeze up. Some might want even 200 or lower. So yeah, like we did test drive and she was just teleporting all over. We did Colin McRae and her car looked like it was in the sky. And so on. But when her ping is actually good, I do think we'll do that PSP game stream. I do want to do some Portable Third with her because she keeps saying she wants to have Nibbles Nerf and other monsters that are only in Portable Third. And speaking of Portable Third, I did make some new sets. I made a bow set that is pretty much similar to her bow set. It's just spread up. Okay, so it's the Rathian bow, first of all, with spread up, evasion +1, focus, and what's the other skill? And okay, so evasion, focus, spread up, and one other skill. I can't remember the skill right now. Oh, weakness exploit with the Rathian bow, because it's the best bow in the game. Then I made a light pogon set with elemental shots But sadly, the elemental skill in Portable Third is the worst version of it, as in it only boosts element by 10% instead of 20% like it does in later games. Because there's only a +1 version, not a +2. Ooh, Honda NSX R concept. It's a nice car. Have I used it before? Wait. Pretty sure I'm missing FF. Then MR. I think what we just got is an FR or an MR. If it's an MR, I might actually use it. I didn't mean to change. MR. Yeah. I haven't used that one before. But let's really quickly do Tsukuba Wet. To get that out of the way. I need to do the normal to get the good price car. And hello there, M. Santos. How are you today? I'm just looking for a car to do the FF challenge with in the beginner hall. I've done about half the events I need in order to get to the World Championship. So I'm looking for cars that I haven't really used before. Ooh, I forgot to change the tires. Oh well. Still is a victory. Since this car is a monster. Oh, so you dare nudge me. If I nudge him back, I will get a penalty. So I need to be careful with the nudging. So instead I'll just body block all day long. Yeah, Gran Turismo is just a fun series. Personally, I prefer the older ones. I was explaining earlier why I don't like the later ones. So Gran Turismo 5 just gives you too much stuff too early on. And it also just doesn't feel as rewarding to play. On top of just having to do every event twice. Because they've split the progression between A spec and B spec. B spec being the AI drives for you. Then Gran Turismo 6, they force you to buy a very specific car to start with. You don't get to pick your starter car, they pick it for you. Which kinda kills my enjoyment of it. But if you aren't into Gran Turismo, what games are you into? I also do Monster Hunter and Pokemon. I would have done Pokemon for today, but I kinda have burned myself out after doing so many living decks playthroughs off stream lately. I did like half of the older games as living decks, which is you get one of everything. Oh, did it come as a bundle? A lot of people got GT5 and 6 as bundles. Same for 4. Like 4 was like the bundle. Okay, Mazda RX-8 concept, but pretty sure that's FR. Then we go to Tsukuba Wet Medium. I need to remember to change the tires though. So For Need for Speed, I haven't really touched the later ones. I just gave up on the series after the abomination that was Need for Speed 2013. Okay, racing tires. So we actually have some kind of grip. Pro Street, as much hate as Pro Street got, it is a great game. It's basically what started the idea that Forza Horizon went with, where you have like a car festival kind of deal. Okay, we park it at the apex. This time I have better tires, so better grip. I don't feel like splurging on the qualifying tires yet, when I don't particularly need them. And this event will give me the Mazda Speed 6, which, depending on its drivetrain, I might use for an event, because I'm trying to find a car to replace this car with. I'm trying to use cars I haven't really driven before, ideally at all, and the Mazda 6 I haven't touched. Okay, that was a bit long to read, so I got distracted. But yeah, a lot of people just weren't into it because they wanted Need for Speed to just stick to like underground racing kind of deal. So legal racing was just an unexpected turn, but personally I did like it. And the ports were good, that's another thing. For example, it was the only Need for Speed on the DS that was actually good. Even had a track creator, so you could make your own track. Cool stuff. As for Underground 2, definitely better than Underground 1, but still has some issues. Because I kinda get sick and tired of driving back and forth, the same road to get to all the events, and the fact that you can just buy every car is also stupid. Like, you have to trade the car in to get a new one, because there's a limit to how many cars you can have. You can't just have one of every car. Yes, you can have multiple cars, but like, it's still not one of every car. That's a big issue I have with the game. Like, just give me money and I'll go buy the car, instead of just having the imposed limit. Keep overshooting the corner because I'm thinking Tsukuba normal, not Tsukuba wet. The grip here is just non-existent. Now, as soon as I'm at the finish line, we get 10,000 money and a new car. Mazda Speed 6. Normally we can sell that for 95,000, and that's what I always do. I always sell it because it's just a very quick way to make some money. Oh, it's Mazda 6, not Mazda Speed, but it is a good car. So let's check what kind of drivetrain and whatnot it has. So 4-wheel drive, that won't do. Then RX-8 Concept FR. We need an FF. For FFs, what do we have? All these I have used before. Then for MR, we have the SX Concept. I have used NSXs before, just not this particular one. Then for other events we can maybe do. This car can do the Supercar Festival. But should I? I can always just buy a new car, but I don't have that much money. And no, I hate the randomizer mode, because I really enjoy the natural progression of GT4. I've said it many times, I just really enjoy the progression they designed for the game. And all the ways you can circumvent that progression. Okay, let's see how well this... Oh, sports medium. Okay, let's see how this will go. We have to use trash tires on a really high horsepower car. There is a Cadillac Cyan and a Zeta and a Ford GT and the Nardo. Okay, we have like as stacked of an opponent grid as possible. So let's see how this will go. 32 points race. So far we've just been having 1 to 5 point races, so this should be a good decider on whether this car can keep up with the supercars. I'm not touching the nitros yet. Okay. I need the Cyan to not get in front. The Cyan and the Nardo are the two scariest opponents. They have the highest horsepower to the point where they are actually not legal for the event, even though the AI is using them. So just touches of nitrous here and there. But yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, without racing tires, this car cannot keep up. With racing tires, it could. So I'll have to improvise. For now, let's overtake the Cadillac. I cannot afford to burn all my nitrous in one lap though. Okay, and we are second. Now to get the Ford GT before he just breaks away too much. PS2 and PSP I'd say, but there's also some PC racing games I really like. There's a decent gap between us and the car behind and the car in front. The car in front I can just delete right here, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to take the total intended racing line and get in front. Now we save the nitrous for when I inevitably mess up, because I know for a fact I'm going to mess up. Also, in this game, if you simply tap the nitrous, it will straighten out your car. So we can use that for moments when I'm understeering. Just to get some more rotation. So here, I'm tapping the nitrous and suddenly the car just turns a whole lot more. Oh. Gran Turismo 4, definitely. Richard Burns Rally also, although that is for pure masochists, so if you are not into simulator, you won't enjoy it. Because in that game, you'll just be torturing yourself. Then, Toka Race Driver 3, well, the entire Toka series, in general, but like Toka Race Driver 3 is like the latest and bestest on the PS2. And there are some others as well, but like for racing on the PS2 there's not that many that just come to mind. Toka Race Driver is like Gran Turismo but even more simulator. I could also mention those Gran Turismo clones from other companies, but those always will have an issue, like either the handling, the progression. I can't remember the name of it, but for example there is one that simply punishes you for changing cars. Like you are driving one car, then you change cars in order to do a different event, and just punishes you by lowering your ranking. I can't remember which one it is. And there's even a mod specifically to fix that BS system. Anyways, my girlfriend is up, so I will need to go talk to her in a tiny moment. Now let's just try, just finish the race though. Again, taking the totally intended line through this corner, because doing that lets me take the corner at like 90 something speed instead of 60 something. But yeah, it's through seizing the corners that this car can keep up with the others. So we will need to find a different car for the rest of the event. Because as much as I like this car, I don't want to try hard it too much just for a single event. Maybe we can use an... I was about to say maybe we can use an RX-8 for this event, because that just sweeps the event. But I've done that exact same thing in my budget car playthrough. I used an RX-7. And then for the World Championship I used an RX-8. But I was just barely not fast enough, so I just gave up on that challenge. I tried it with a few cars. I was doing like a budget car playthrough of GT4, right? Where I could not spend more than like 60,000, I think, on a car. And 100,000 total with upgrades. Yeah, it's alright. Feel free to drop back in and just have a nice day there. I'll just be chilling here doing some racing, but I don't know how much longer I'll keep the stream going, maybe half an hour. I want to get a new car and just do an event or two. But before you go, if you have any suggestions for an MR or FF car that possibly I haven't driven, just feel free to drop it. Always open to suggestions. As long as I don't mess up here, will be nice and fine. Right to the finish. What we legit got the most stacked grid we could have possibly gotten. for this race. Thankfully it's not a cup, otherwise I'd have suffered. Anyways, 15,000, that's some good money. So, there was Ford GT, Cadillac Cyan, which is illegal for this event, SLR McLaren, W12 Nardo, and Cizeta. The Cizeta, yes, has awful handling, but like the rest, they're just awful. So I'm actually going to take a screenshot of this because it's interesting. How on the first attempt I got like an ultra stacked grid. Alright. So I need an MR car. I've driven all three of these at one point or another. The only one I haven't driven is the race car one, which does not show up here. It's not in the dealership, like not even hidden, as in without a price tag, so you cannot buy it. It is instead from the Slipstream events. Alright, Cizeta, Lancia. We're looking for an FF and a marker. This could be good, but I don't feel like doing the special conditions to get it. Maybe an Alfa Romeo. I'm not looking for a supercar, just a good FF car. There's a 147 GTA Cup, so I could grab this. Yeah, let's grab that. What color do we go for? Something unique. Let's go for this. So this is our new car. Now to customize it a little bit. I don't have that much money, so I need to be very selective with what I buy. Definitely need the nitrous, the racing chip. Okay, so 398. We cannot get turbo. Okay, so it is the engine that we get. But it also needs suspension. Let's say get weight reduction. I'll get the second weight reduction too. Why not? Tires, sports. Since it's beginner haul, there's no point in changing that. We just barely don't have enough, so might as well buy the suspension. $398. Even without this, we still should be good for the FF Cup to get started on. Hong Kong and Midfield Raceway. Two tracks we haven't really seen so far. Hong Kong we haven't seen at all. Midfield we've seen I think in one other event so far. Just a different configuration. Now we should be able to like obliterate the competition even without engine upgrade. Now, and technically speaking I have driven this car before because obviously I have done a 100% completion run and this is mandatory for a 100%. But outside of like using it for that one Alfa Romeo event, I haven't really used it. So while I will try as much as I can to use cars I've never used before, I will still use this just for this event because I'm too lazy to find a different FF car, and let's be honest, I hate FFs. I will take RR over FF any day. But sadly, so many cars nowadays are just made to be FF. Just because it's so much cheaper. FR is the ideal for a regular car like this because it has the best balance without being too expensive. Then four-wheel drive or like slash all-wheel drive and MR are like the best in general, but like MR is kind of overkill for a regular car. Because you need to have this ginormous hood for the engine. MR just means that the engine is behind the front wheels, whereas FR means that the engine is past the front wheels or above it. So in order for a car to be MR, it needs to have a long hood so that the engine can sit further behind and the wheels can be out, like further out front. It just leads to long cars, which again, they are overkill for just a normal compact car like this. Although this isn't that compact. And speaking of compact cars, the other day, when walking home, I saw a Mini Cooper that was freaking ginormous. Like it looked like a crossover Mini Cooper, and I'm like, what's the point of it being a Mini Cooper at that point? Like it was as big as like other cars, maybe even bigger, like and tall. It was like a small SUV at that point. Like, why would a brand literally famous for making tiny cars make a freaking ginormous beast? And I say beast size-wise, like it's not a beast under the hood whatsoever. Like it sounded like a wet fart. My eye caught a glimpse of the mum van in second or third place. So I want to check it out after the race because it looked like the Peugeot E-Space, E-Space, I think it's called, that I was looking at with my girlfriend. I miss cars being practical rather than just big and wasteful. Like cars were back in the day were built for a purpose. Now they're just big for no reason other than just for people to overcompensate for tiny wheelies. It reminds me of that South Park episode where they pissed off an angry party. It's having ginormous cars with like balls dangling from the rear, or like small sports cars that are just excessively expensive, like the midlife crisis 911. That so many dudes get. And I don't think I'll upgrade this car any further since I'm only using it for this event and for the Alfa Romeo exclusive event. Unless that event requires me to upgrade it. We'll see how that goes. I think it's only like 3 races. But I'll do this event, then I will do the Alfa Romeo event, and then I think I'll end the stream just so I can go spend time with my girlfriend now that she's up. So we have 2 or 3 more races in this cup. Alright, and give me a moment everyone, I will be right back. I need to go talk to her. Alright, I'm back. I was just counting the events, that's why I moved the cursor. So then we have in the Italian ones, this is 3 races. Alright, so 6 races, then I end the stream. Let's go. Hong Kong. Eight-point race, but a lot of corners we can just wall right, so it's all good. Starting line and we've already pretty much overtaken one. That's what I like to see. Also this is a reverse configuration. Should have paid more attention. Not that it changes anything, it just means I might not be able to abuse the wall ride as much, since it works better the other way. And I could have dived there, like dove there. And here, this corner, you can like wall ride if you go the other way. I've been stuck behind traffic for too long, so let's just zoom off in the distance. And I'm really vibing to this music. If only the American version had good music, I would play it more. But that's the reason I'm doing the European version. I do mind how all the mods use the American version as a base though, when clearly the European is superior. Yes, it has fewer physics calculations, but that's not the only thing that matters. 10 physics calculations a second less is not that big a deal. It simply makes the car slightly harder to control, but like very slightly. Anyways, again, in the opposite configuration you can just wall ride this. Here you can't. You'll just get lodged. It's zooming. There we have the port with the interesting color in the water. I don't know if it's nighttime or if it's just poop water, but nice and tight. I'll do a pit lane finish just to flex. Alright, 1500, and we have 2 more events. Grand Valley, Tuner Motegi. Chicane? No. It's the non-chicane version. I think it's the very short version. Or I think there's an even shorter version, anyways. Doesn't matter. Like the long version goes off to here, if I remember correctly. Then rejoins here later on. And like, this is essentially the north part of the circuit. So after this we do the final event in the cup, then we do the Julia event to get the Julia, and after that I just end the stream. Should be about 20 more minutes, maybe less, depends on how long the events are in the other cup. We still need to find an MR car. I might legitimately try to get the Pagani Zonda race car, because again, that's the one car I have never actually bothered using. Like, even when I have won it, I haven't even taken it for a test drive. Who knocked off all these cones? Was the AI? Because, so, I haven't used it because it's a special car. In the sense that it's one of the cars that take damage, like permanent damage, but you cannot get a new one of it. Some cars you can only ever have one of in the game. Those being the prize cars from the driver's licenses, because you can only get the licenses once. The prize cars for completion, like 25% completion, 50% and 100%. Like for example, the black Gran Turismo formula that you get for 100% in the game. Although that is special and is unaffected by it. By what I'm talking about. So there's wear and tear on the cars. You just don't see it. So a car will lose power permanently and become harder to drive over time, the more it drives and the more it crashes and whatnot. So cars that you can only get one of, you kinda want to avoid using specifically for that reason. But for example, another list of like some other cars that act that way are the prize cars from the mission hall, because you can only do the missions once, like get the prize car from them, or like once. You can keep doing the mission for money, but like the prize car you can only get once. You cannot reset the mission. So for example, if you clear missions 1 through 10, you cannot just reset them to get another prize car. The only other way to get the prize car is to have a save file that has it and just transfer it over, as in cloning the car, pretty much. That's the only way to get multiple. I guess I could do that, but like I'd rather avoid doing that. So that's why I have never driven the Zonda race car. I have used the normal Zondas though, but it just feels wrong to let a car that you can only get one of be permanently damaged, even if it's like just 1% damage. It still bothers me. I think it's called Garage Queen, where you just leave the car in the garage instead of just driving it. It's like those people that have like these really expensive cars, but just keep them in the garage all the time and never drive them. They just have them for bragging rights. Anyways. Ooh, I predict the riot just in time. to vibe to towards the finish. This game is what I've said it last time, but like this game is what made me get into Kaiser Chiefs, only to end up finding a bunch of songs that I really vibe to from them. Ruby, yeah, definitely, although I found that out later through Guitar Hero 3. But like My Kind of Guy, Retirement, many bangers that just relate with me. Like My Kind of Guy is just a mean song, but I very much dig it. Anyways, finish. 3, 2, 1, 0. So what car do we get? I think it's a British car. I think Lotus or something. Oh, Mazda 6 concept. This is basically just the worse version of the car we already had. Let's quickly do the Alfa Romeo Cup. Wait, how long is the event? 2 laps. There's no tire requirement, so might as well splurge a bit and get hards. Alright, let's start from Grand Valley Speedway. Five-point race. Now, in this kind of race, some cars, some opponents might have upgrades, so we need to watch out for that. We have every upgrade except for engine, which should give us plenty of an advantage. Just stick ourselves in the toe and then break the toe right before the corner, but the guy broke the toe before me and ruined my strategy, but it's alright. I don't know how they thought it was a fair fight to put a car from past 2000 against a car from like 1977 to compete against each other, but I'll take it. Is 0 points for me. The car is a little oversteery with the new tires, but it's to be expected with an FF, since all the weight of the car is just in the front because that's where the engine is, but the power is also on the front tire, so the front just get pushed hard into the ground, but the butt just swings out when you corner. And that's also why the back tires are just frozen blue cold, but the front tires are like fresh green. And RR is the opposite. I've only seen an RR car twice in my life, I think. Might have been 3 times. I've seen one of the Alpines in real life and one other, I can't remember which, but I know I've seen an R car before. Anyways, here's a victory. Then we have 2 more races. I wish it paid a little bit more. Most of the events just pay trash, sadly. And off stream, I might actually do the Subaru event a few times just to farm a bunch of money. I'll just be specking it. Ooh. Full configuration, nice. Let's go. Let's go zooming. Squeeze in the gap that totally was there. And then we are in the lead. So we have one more event after this. What map? Oh, Tsukuba. 3 laps. Okay. Yeah, we should be fine. But after this event, I'm not touching this car again. We're just getting a different one. Both because I hate FFs and because I have technically used it before just for this cup once or twice during 100% runs. I've only done like 2. Like one back in the day and one on stream. Where I try to get the game to 100%. Might have done another and just don't remember, but I know I did one as a kid. And I have done one on stream. That, like I said earlier, is missing like 30 more races, 15 of which are just the formula races. Mostly because I just get bored doing that event. Bespecking it goes awfully because Bob just is stupid even when you give him commands, and will just lose the lead in no time, even though he should be going way faster than the others. And I will have to drive them, at least for most of the race. Like we're talking about tuning the Formula car to the point where I can lap the AI Formula cars in like 6 to 7 laps, maybe 8, and then if I switch to Bob, he just loses the lead immediately. Or if I qualify with that tune and have him start from the front, he'll just lose the lead and fall like to 3rd or 4th place after a lap or 2. Just never catch up. I don't know if it's a problem with the AI of the event or something, but oh well. So yeah, I just can't be bothered to do 15 races that are like 50 plus laps back to back. One time I did try to do them by just save stating in between each race and just doing like 1 race a day. But even that's got tiresome, and since I have updated the emulator, that save state file is just gone, so I have the normal save file instead. Which I believe is in the 3rd or 4th race of that event, the 100% save file. Anyways, I should be able to overtake before the straight. Then it's just all about building a nice gap. Speaking of gaps, going in the gap that totally existed there. I totally didn't force my way through. that I know how to force myself into a tight little hole. Take that as you will. Anyways, I thought I could overtake just before the straight. I guess I overtook at the start of the straight. Big difference. Good. Anyways, since I'm about to end the stream, let's talk about some other stuff. So, right before the stream, I had some people over, my uncle, aunt, and cousin, and they brought some snacks. It was like wafer, like chocolate wafer cigar things. Not actual cigar. It was like cigar shape. Like little tubes of chocolate and wafer, and I freaking love those things, and I might have ended up eating the entire box in like 5 minutes while we were just talking to them and just hanging out. I would just take one, then another, then another, then another, and then the box just emptied out. There were like 13 there, and I ate about 26 of them. So yeah. Had my fill of chocolate for the day, one could say. Didn't have any milk with it though. I had some fizzy lemonade, but after the stream I think I'll just do some laundry I have to do, and then just make myself some proper food that isn't snacks. But I can't decide between meat pie, spinach pie, or just making some sandwiches. Honestly, I think I'll just go with the sandwich because I'm lazy. But I don't know if I have enough cheese. I might have literally just enough cheese to make sandwiches. Here you can find this amazing salami. It's semi-spicy from Lidl. That is just freaking delicious. It's like paprika salami, and I do wish it was spicier, yes, but it is definitely amazing. And it's like dead safe. It's like $2 for like 12 slices of it. Anyways, obviously we know what car we were going to get. Out of curiosity, how much does that sell? I think it's like 10,000, 24,000. Okay, not bad. For now, let's go back to this. This 10,000. When I have sunk like 300,000 in upgrades and brand new, it costs like 48,000. I went with this color. Just really love the orange accent, but I was thinking of getting this one too. Like that line, the line just makes it so much better than just having a plain color. So when I get a car in the future, I'll just have that line. Now, let's see what we are missing. We are missing MR, a lightweight K-Cup, Spider and Roadster, pickup truck. Okay, I'm going to buy a pickup truck for now. So Dodge, Toyota, Chevrolet and Ford. Okay, so this is FR. To Murica, Chevrolet, SSR, this FR, this also FR, Ford F-150, also FR, so they're all FR. This one, by the way, has a real funny glitch where it will give you way more points from an event than it should. Like, you can make events give you 200 points. So if you plan to farm the A-spec points here, so A-spec point, if you plan to farm those, then you can actually just use that car. And now what was the other one? Several Dodge. Dodge Ram. Which one should I go for? Okay, we'll just figure it out another time. Then again, we need Spider and Roadster, lightweight. Okay, let's see. In the used cars, do we have any convertibles? Honda Beat, but I have used it before, Cappuccino as well. Ooh. This is one of the Celicas that has 4-wheel steering. Honda Prelude, Skyline. Does this count as a convertible? If it does, we can actually use it for the Roadster Cup. Although it's too big for any of the compact ones. Is this also a convertible? Griffith. Ooh. This is eligible for the professional haul compact cars and the Roadster. Let me just see for TVR. With TVR. Is it VK? We can buy any. Tamora. And TVR Cup is for any. We can use this for the World Championship. We need a little bit more money. Tamora and T350C. Yeah, this would be perfect. TVR comes in interesting hues instead of just being one singular boring color. Like it will have like an interesting glow to it. Okay, so we have decided on the compact car that we'll go with. So I just need to farm a tiny bit of money, so I'll probably do that off stream. So thanks for watching, everyone. I'll end it here, and I'll see you all next time, whenever that will be. And for anyone on the YouTube side, just like, subscribe, leave comments, you know, the fluff, just to help with the stupid algorithm, because it's just burying my streams. Anyways, have a good whatever, and join the Discord if you want to know when I'll be live again.